And then we have this team from North Carolina, for some of you that just came in. They're working with the mayor in town, and the mayor in town has told them about a mountain school. And they're building a playground for the mountain school, and they've brought in supplies. And you're going to be here for how long? Another week? Until Friday. Great. Well, we hope that we'll see you often during the week. So good to see all of you here, my family, forever and ever. Well, and Lola, you have some wonderful guests here. Tell us who they are.
This is from England, and this is Dr. Julia Starla, and this is the farm.
Wonderful. Do we have any other visitors here for the first time? Yes, we do. That girl in the red dress that I thought was Dorothy, William's wife. Where is she? And Suzanne. Where are they?
Last Sunday too.
Oh, thank you, Jesse. Okay, well, we're just glad that you're here again. And was Carlos here last Sunday?
No.
Okay. Carlos is from Santo Domingo. Did you see him playing the tambourine there? So good to have you. Did I miss anyone?
Stan is here from Montreal.
Where?
Right behind him.
Sandy.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Judy's my daughter. She's my youngest in the family. Yeah, we're just so happy to have you all here this morning. We're going to take up our offering in a moment. I wonder if Kathy, could you get me that stack of newsletters? I just want to see if there's something in there. I want to. Yeah, would you get that for me? I haven't talked with my son in Haiti for maybe 4 or 5 weeks, but last night I had a few words with him. You know how Haiti got hit with the hurricanes, one after the other, and even at our mission, we lost the roofs on 2 churches and schools, and our rooms were flooded. The river overflowed, and people had to be evacuated. And what happened in Haiti, that we didn't realize, you can just leave it there. What happened in Haiti, we didn't realize, hindsight, but the hurricanes kept hitting Haiti, and so the government made a decree that none of the schools in Haiti could open the 1st of September because people weren't ready for school, houses were still flooded, people didn't have the money to buy the basics. I live with the Haitian people, I understand their culture, I love them. But, there's a sense of pride that God gives us that helps protect us. And in the Haitian culture, when a mother sends her child back to school, they at least have to have 1 brand new pair of underwear and 1 brand new pair of socks. And they just need to have those little things before they can go back to school. And sometimes children will go back to school for weeks and weeks and weeks because they're ashamed to go back unless they have that one little piece of brand new item that everybody can see. And so the government decreed the school could not open the first week in September. Now what happens at our mission with 9,474 children is that we feed the school children every day. So when the government said the school couldn't open for 1 month, that meant that the children didn't eat for 1 more month. And they were hurting so much, even though some of the teams were going there and giving out food, that they hurt so much. This one last month, my son told me that we had school children that were dying from malnutrition, like early days. He says, we lost so much ground and we didn't realize it. And, we've disobeyed the government over and over in Haiti. We should have, but we didn't think. We weren't really realizing how bad it was. And so by postponing school for 1 month, really set them back nutritionally and health-wise. He did say that the clinic was packed with all the meds that we needed to take care of the children, but he also told me that he bought 15 tons of rice, and he bought 600 gallons of oil, and he bought 5 tons of beans, and the children have been eating since the 1st of October. But I haven't even heard from him. He's just been so busy trying to catch up with the hurricanes and the children. But he's young, he can handle it, and I'm so glad he's there. It's wonderful there, and I'm so glad God has allowed me to be here with you. I'll pray for them there, and I'll send them an offering, and maybe someday I'll go over on a bus ride, and you'll want to come with me. Actually, I have a member from my board of directors coming in Saturday, and she's trying to persuade me to take a bus over there in December to try to hit some of the agencies in Haiti, and that my master's degree is in international development, so I know how to speak the language, but somehow when money goes into Haiti, it very rarely reaches the people that are helping the people. It gets kind of all bottled up in these agencies and government programs. And so we would like to network so that we could really do a better work there among the Haitian people. But if you read my book, my last words are, I could never hope to be a Christian as good as the Christian Haitians that I served in Haiti. They're wonderful people. So pray for Charlie in Haiti. For those of you that are new, we do have a newsletter this month about Haiti. It talks about the hurricanes hitting. And I obeyed my boss, and my boss told me to write an article on why is Haiti poor. So on the second page is a little article that I wrote on why is Haiti poor. And then the back page. So you can take these newsletters today to keep in touch with what's going on in Haiti. About 32 years ago, I called my sister on the telephone, and I didn't call her that often because I was a poor pastor's wife and my husband was making $50 a week and we had 4 children. And so I was just trying to have milk and bread in the home. So I didn't call her because that was back when a long distance phone call was a long distance phone call and we weren't living that close. But I remember in October, 32 years ago, I picked up the phone and called Elizabeth and I said, will you go to India with me? And she said, yes, I'll go to India with you. And we went off to India in January. And now I was the poor pastor's wife that only had $50 a week. You'll have to read my book to get the rest of the story. But in case I don't want you to think about that while she's speaking. So my father sold his business and he gave each of the daughters, 3 daughters, $1,000. And so that paid for my ticket to go to India with my sister. And did we ever have fun in India? And did we ever have fun with this past week? What I did was I shamed her into coming. I said to her, you know, Elizabeth, all of your friends and your church people, they would really think that you were wonderful if you had a little pity on your sister that was a new widow and that you would come and be with me for a week. And she fell for it and she came. And my daughter kept calling me and saying, you're working your sister so hard. She should be having a vacation. But she's been such a blessing to me. We've been up late nights, up early mornings talking and having a wonderful time. And she's cheap to feed. She likes my trigo pilaf and my oatmeal and my brown rice and yogurt. And so, and she told me not to do anything until she comes back. So I think she's going to be back real soon.
Amen.
But now what I want you to do, take a deep breath. And I want you to relax and get your ears ready to hear the word of God from a woman who speaks for God. God bless you, sis.
Well, thank you, Jeannie. She said wonderful things about me, did she? I just want to say I'm so happy to be here. Can you hear the way I feel? And it's good to see some familiar faces and some that I don't know, but you know something, once I see your face once, you're not unfamiliar anymore. And this morning what I would like to do is I just want to share with you, and if there's any men in the congregation, I just want to tell you that I won't be preaching to you this morning. I'll just be sharing, because back home at my church, when I share, I just always make sure that I represent myself as a woman pastor. Because sometimes we get men that have a little bit of a problem with that, but not here because you're Pastor Jeanne. So I'm just going to begin. What I'd like to share with you this morning is going to be very simple, but yet it can be very transforming in your life. And I just want to share with you because I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know where you are on this spiritual journey. And so I just want to share with you some stories, and true stories from the Word of God. And they're beautiful stories because we can apply them to where we are in our life at this very hour and the things that you go through. And so many of us struggle with so many different situations in our lives, and we enter into sometimes damaging relationships, sometimes we have a low self-esteem, sometimes we're just dealing with trying to make our world complete.